guys, welcome to Cool Mufflers. Today we're doing a twin 2-inch system on this lovely Premier. Let's get after it. Alright guys, here we go. We got a lovely Premier in the shop today. It is just absolutely immaculate. Beautiful car. We have just removed the single system off of it. And we're going for a twin 2-inch system. It's a 253 Trimatic car. And a nice twin 2-inch is going to do us today. So I've just set the tailpipes up in the car. I would normally pull these out of the jig and bolt it all in. But when we've got time in the shop, I like to just do it on the car. It's a little bit neater, you know. Bolts on stuff's great, but if you've got the time to really refine it and make it sit right, then as if you wouldn't take the time. That's our midsection fresh out of the jig. I'm going to mount that up in the car now. I've got to add an extra hanger because we're going a twin system. I'm going to go on the cross member near the diff, and then we're going to make our tailpipes work with it on the car. Just so I can like get that perfect clearance above the diff where the trailing arms are. It just comes out really neat. So that is that. Alright, because this car had a single exhaust on it, we've only got one hanger on the passenger side. So what we're going to do is we'll replace the rubber in that hanger with the proper HZ hanger rubber, and then we're going to add the same hanger on the opposite side of the car. Very simple rubber arrangement. This little guy just goes inside there. I'm going to clean this up and it's going to go up there like so. Just a bit of thinners on a rag, typical of an older car. It's got a bit of grease and grime and whatnot. So we just want to get all that rubbish off of it so we can get back to some paint. It's you know, it's seen some use. For a really tidy car, it's never, looks like it might have been painted at some stage, but she's never really had a major resto, which is pretty impressive to see. A car at this age to still be rolling around in such good condition. It's nice to see people look after these things. But yeah, probably a slight pinion leak or something in the past. It's just sort of gotten up here. Nothing better than a bit of oil on your car to prevent rust and keep it for longer anyway, so most of the time it's a good thing. So that's that. I'll just go over that now and clean the paint off the area where it needs to go. And these guys weld on. If you actually buy the kit from us, it's got little bolting pieces on it. I'm not going to use one of those today. This one's welded. That one to be bolted and that one to be welded. It just looks uneven, so I'm going to go ahead and weld this guy on. So that's the midsection mounted in the car. Normally the hangers on the muffler there come with a nice collar that goes around a two-way adjustment so that you can really set it up nice and neatly in the car. Like I say, because we're doing this one in the shop, I just take my sweet old time. I put a whole day into doing this and just get everything sitting exactly where I want it. So the next thing we'll do is I'm going to put the tailpipes in and line them up, make sure I've got super equal clearance. If you look up in here, we've got our upper control arms that are in the way, our diff and our fuel tank taking up a bunch of space. So by me being pedantic and taking my time, I can really get it all sitting just the way I like. When we get a nice original car like this, it makes it a lot easier to do this. If you look on this side, this is where the original single exhaust was, and that's the factory exhaust hanging point. It doesn't matter what car you got, they always had the second point on the other side of the car. So this is the style of rubber they run. Very simple little arrangement. Just lose that nut there. And that guy there screws in. I'll have to tap a thread. At the moment it's just a punched hole. And we'll tap a nice thread into there. And that will be our tailpipe support. One of those on each side. We'll just come back over to our tailpipe nice and neat. We shall trim them back and go with a piece of stainless steel on the end. Here's what it is to take the time to make these things fit nicely in the shop. I've got multiple stands going on, and I've got Anthony here helping me. In between the two of us, we've really set this up neatly. You can see up here is just a ton of clearance to everything. I know we are using a 2-inch tailpipe, and that does, you know, greatly improve the amount of room we have available to us, but I'm really happy with the setup. That's that other hanger we've added in there. Just welded it straight back in, the same as the stock setup goes. So that's that. That's our tailpipes in. Our rear mounts are on there. I'm going to pull that down. I'll brace that up a little bit more and put some paint on there. Get it all nice and silver so it doesn't rust. And then I'm going to cut back the length on this. I actually quite like the length where it comes to in line with the bumper. There's totally cool. But we'll cut it back right here and put a nice piece of stainless steel on there. An angle cut. Make it look neat. So I'll pull those out now, get that finalised. My midsection's all finalised and in. and then it's just a matter of making up engine pipes. The difference between this and what I'd normally do on most cars is this one's going to run stock manifolds. The guy didn't want to go changing them. It's just a cruise car, just wanted a nice note to it. So we will we'll just make up an engine pipe. It goes back to where it normally joins here on our X pipe, and I think in this case I'll probably just weld it. I'll see how I feel at the time. Might use a clamp like we normally do. I'll see how I feel. Geez, the clock is ticking on me, but I'm getting there. All the rear's now permanently done and set. Tips are all fully welded and painted. The hangers are in and braced. Everything's sitting real neat. So that's that. That other hanger we added, that's all nicely black painted so that the chassis doesn't rust. Don't want any of that stuff. I will go back the finished product and clean up the badges so they're nice and stainless steel and shiny, and paint the rest of the system. So that's that bit. That's basically what you see there is what comes in the kit. And it normally has 2 connecting pipes because it's generally designed to go up with headers. In this case, we are going to the manifolds. So I will fabricate some pipes to go from them. These are expanded to take 2-inch inside of them, so we'll run them down to there and that'll be us. All right, we're coming down to the last little bit of Friday afternoon here, guys. Jeez, it's funny, it's a tough thing to balance, you know, doing work and talking to customers and booking more work. You don't get to do more work, but if you're booking work, then it takes up time on the work you're doing. Them's are the struggles we face. So my side's in. Anthony's just finishing up the one that he was working on. We sort of threw the 2 of us on the front of this because, well, it's Friday and there's beer in the fridge, so priorities become very strong at this stage. So yeah, we'll just finish this up, weld her up, and you guys get to hear it. Alright guys, here we go, finished product.